like contests and competitions? Have you ever won a contest? How did that make you feel? Have you ever lost a contest, and how did that make you feel? Hello everyone, I'm Kathleen Pelly. Welcome to Journey with Story. I'm sure that most of you have indeed won or lost a contest of some kind in your life. It is always fun to win, right? But not so much fun to lose. Today's story is an African folktale about 3 sons. Remember last week I told you that all of this month's stories were going to be about the number 3. Well, these 3 sons' father gives each of them a contest to see which one of them is the most talented. Let's see how that turns out. But before we begin, I want to give a big shout-out thank you to Simona from Costa Rica, who recently sent me a delightful drawing inspired by a recent story, The Silver Float. Thank you so much, Simona. If you want to see this drawing, check out our blog post from last month. Now, let's take a journey with The 3 Sons, a story from Nigeria. There was once a chief who had 3 sons, of whom he was very proud. They were very different, but each one was talented in some way. One morning, as he sat in the council chamber with his councillors, who were dressed in full white robes, he asked them to help him assess which of his 3 sons was the most talented. "I'd really like to know," he said. "Let's meet at the baobab tree. My sons will join us there as well." As the councillors moved slowly towards the tree in the hot sun, the chief's 3 sons appeared in the distance, each one astride a fine horse. When he had silenced the crowd, the chief said, "Each son will ride his horse in turn. He may do whatever he chooses, but on approaching the baobab tree, he must prove himself as best he can." The councillors looked at him with anticipation of what the boys would do. "Then we can assess who is the most talented of my sons," said the chief. Hordes of people joined the councillors next to the baobab tree and chatted excitedly as they awaited the arrival of the chief's first son. It was not long before he approached the crowd on his fine black horse, which kicked up the dust with its thundering hooves. Then the chief's first son rode determinedly towards the baobab tree, travelling in a straight path. With a sharp thrust of his spear, the rider stabbed the tree with such strength that it gouged out a hole right through the trunk of the tree. Then he rode straight through the hole on his horse, stopping only when he had reached the other side. The crowd gasped at such a display of strength and clapped as they saw the first son bring his horse to a halt and pat it on the flanks. Then it was the turn of the second son. As the people beside the baobab tree chattered and waited in eager anticipation of the next feat, the boy came nearer, riding his horse on the dry earth, its hoof marks forming a tattoo. Then all of a sudden the horse of the second son took off and cantered straight for the tree, leaving a trail of dust. For a while the people were afraid, as they thought that he would ride right into the tree and meet his death. But as they approached the baobab, the horse and rider leapt into the air and climbed ever higher until they had cleared the tree The people stared up at the cloudless blue sky in amazement, watching the rider and horse coming down to earth with a thump. The horse stumbled, and it looked as though the chief's son and his mare would both fall. But they steadied themselves. Then the son jumped off his horse proudly, wiping his sweaty face and hands. With expectations raised, the crowd jostled as they awaited the arrival of the chief's third son on his stallion. They had seen two amazing feats. Strongly he rode straight towards the baobab tree, urging his horse on. Then suddenly, when he was level with the branches of the tree, he grabbed them with his bare hands and pulled until he had unearthed the whole tree, exposing its roots to the air. The crowd looked on in silent disbelief as he uprooted the tree. Then the chief's third son dusted off his hands and galloped towards his father as the crowd clapped with thunderous applause. They were in awe of the performances of the three talented sons. Now, I am sure you are all thinking, well, wait a minute. Which son did win the contest? Which son was the most talented? Well, the ending of our story really tells us what this story's souvenir is, this nugget of truth about what it means to be human. Here is how the author ends this tale. Who do you think was the most talented son? Each son performed an amazing feat, and it would be difficult to say who was the most talented son. This folktale highlights the fact that every individual has unique talents, which can be undervalued when individuals constantly compare themselves with others. Well, do you agree that it is not good to compare ourselves to others? Or do you think there are times when it is a good thing to compare ourselves and to have contests? That would make for a very good discussion at the dinner table tonight. And what a great writing prompt for those of you who like to write your own stories. Perhaps you could write a story about a special contest. While you're thinking about that, can you have your mums and dads or other grown-ups take a listen with me now? Hello, grown-ups. I just wanted to give you a quick shout-out about a new app that I think might be of interest to some of you. It's a new app called Accelerate that offers, among many other things, calming sleep stories and meditation guides to recharge your mind and spirit. You can find the link here in our episode's notes and find out more about it. Cheerio, then join me next time for Journey with Story. Music and post-production was by Colette Jonas.